Hey, it's James Murray, and we're continuing on the election trail today. In the studio is Thunder Bay Superior North Green Party candidate and Deputy Leader of the Green Party, Bruce Hyer. Bruce, welcome.
And MP for one more week.
Well, at least one more week. That's the goal of the
At least
campaign.
one more week, yes.
So do you think the voters in Thunder Bay Superior North are going to rehire you?
Well, I've been knocking on doors, and it's funny you put it that way, because I say, hi, I'm Bruce, and next week you get to fire me or rehire me. And they laugh, and it breaks the ice, and that's a good opener. And a lot of them, an amazing percentage, say, I'll rehire you. And so, what the heck, don't even ask me, just put up a sign. You may have noticed.
It's a lot of green signs.
A lot. We had to reorder signs several times. Right now we're at the 3,500 mark. Now, every single sign will be recycled.
Recycled, and something else you were saying.
Maybe reused.
And something else you were saying, though, is that you don't have a lot of vacant lots voting for you.
Yes, I have to laugh. The other three candidates, if squirrels and chipmunks and moose and spruce and vacant lots can vote, they're doing very well.
Now,
so just to build on that, virtually none, never say never, virtually none of our signs are up without permission. They're all on private property with permission, name, address, phone number, email address, and we can verify everyone.
Now, you kind of threw a curveball at a lot of political analysis in Thunder Bay last Friday night. Friday, long weekend, everybody in Thunder Bay is supposed to go to Duluth. 400 plus people were at the Finlandia Hall for a political meeting.
It was amazing, wasn't it? It was a very exciting event. Elizabeth's a very dynamic and exciting person, and it was a very nice evening, to be sure. And it was interesting, lots of supporters there, but lots of people who were on the cusp undecided when they came in, and as they were going out, they said, boy, I came here undecided. I'm sure not undecided anymore.
Now that's probably the political story in this election is, and Elizabeth May talked about it Friday night, the Green Party's secret sauce is bringing people out to vote who haven't voted before. I thought when she asked the question, was this your first political event you'd gone to, that about half to 60% of the hands in the room went up. Are you finding that talking to voters?
Well, as we both know, about 40% of Canadians aren't voting, haven't been voting, haven't voted in the past, but elections Canada was overloaded this weekend with advanced polls. Lots of people voting for the first time or who haven't voted for many years because they've been so discouraged by the three main parties and politics as it usually is. And so a lot of people seem to be very encouraged by a new kind of politics that actually puts people and constituents first, puts honesty first, tells the truth. You've known me for a long time, James, you know. Don't ask the Bruce the question if you don't want to know the answer. You might not like the answer that you get, but it's a straight answer, always.
So we're into the last 6 days. It's the home stretch. What is the Green Party in Thunder Bay Superior North doing for the next 6 days?
I'm going to be knocking on a lot of doors. This is, I think, my last interview. If we're debating now, it's my last debate. Okay. And I always like debating with you, James. And I'll knock on lots of doors, and we're almost out of signs, so I can't do too much more of those. We have 4,000 signs, they're almost all up, so no more of those, which probably people have seen enough. It's kind of weird traveling around town seeing your face thousands of times. Can you imagine what this is like? It's fairly bizarre.
So Margaret must be just about ready to say, get him back to Ottawa.
Well, it's funny you say that. Margaret is kind of averse to politics. You know, Margaret, she kind of doesn't like the strife and conflict of politics. But she got in gear a few weeks ago because it dawned on her that, my goodness, I have to be sure that this guy is in Ottawa half the time and out of my hair.
Now, as things go together and people are looking to engage with the Green Party here in Thunder Bay, there's some national polling that says, boy, there's nobody voting for Bruce. The numbers are, in the 4 or 5%.
It's bizarre.
What do our readers need to know about that poll?
Well, it's pretty simple, and that is all of the national pollsters don't actually poll in your riding. What they do is they take old results and extrapolate and guess, basically. They're educated guesses, but extrapolations. So the least sophisticated of them look at Thunder Bay last time, and they go, oh, wow, last time the NDP got 50% of the vote. and the Conservatives only got 30, and the Liberals got even less. Usually it's the Liberals would be closer, but it was a particularly bad candidate at that time. But anyway, they look at that and they say, well, so the NDP is going to win. But you and I both know, last election, the NDP got 30% nationally. Jack and the NDP got 30% nationally, which was a rise. But I got 50%. So a big chunk, we can speculate on what chunk of those people voted for me. So lots of those people are going to be voting Green and Bruce this time. So it's going to be interesting. Our internal polling and some other polls that have been around show us in the lead. And some of them show the NDP in second, some of them show the Liberals in second place. They all show the Conservatives way behind in Thunder Bay, Superior North. Richard Harvey is a very brave man to be running for the third time for the Conservatives, defending the undefendable. People want a change. They don't want Harper again. Plus, quiz question, James. Do you know how many years it has been since a Conservative candidate won in Thunder Bay, Superior North?
It was just before C.D. Howe got elected, and it was 1931.
You're right. 1931. So 84 years. So people don't have to worry about splitting their vote here. Now, a number of things have come to bother me about the NDP under Tom Mulcair. It's certainly not the Democratic Party anymore. I've kind of been saying NDP stands for Non-Democratic Party under Tom Mulcair. But they've been putting the most outrageous lies on Facebook and YouTube and by robocalling. So they've done a lot of robocalling, say, oh, it's a tight race between the NDP and the Conservatives in Thunder Bay, Superior North, and you have to vote NDP or the Conservatives will win here. Well, we both know that's ridiculous, but it probably has some effect on people who don't really realize that it's a three-way race. It's going to be the Liberals, the NDP, or the Greens. And so people can vote with their heart and their heads for one of those three. They know they won't get a Conservative, and let them pick the person they feel will best represent them.
So as you were saying, this is your last kick of the cat as an interview before the voting day.
Yes.
What message do you want to send to Thunder Bay, Superior North, and to voters in the region?
Well, I left the NDP because they're not Democratic anymore. And that is, in the 3 years since I left, not one NDP MP has thwarted the will of Tom Mulcair and voted as his constituents or his conscience dictated, his or her. That's shameful. 3 years and total robot-like automatic voting machines in the NDP. The Conservatives actually allow freedom in voting 1 or 2% of the time on private members' bills. And the Liberals actually a little better than that. But all of them, virtually all the time, they control the voting of their MPs. It's called whipped votes, you know. And it's not a bad name. So the NDP told me that if I didn't vote the way they wanted 100% of the time, that I would be punished and they wouldn't sign my nomination papers, at which point I decided to go independent for 2 years. So the bottom line to all this is there are three candidates who are nice people, well-intended. If elected, they will have to do as their party leaders, their party hacks, and their party whips tell them to do. They can pretend otherwise, but that's the way it is. Pierre Trudeau called his own backbenchers mere trained seals. So there's only one party that's actually democratic. The truly democratic party is the Green Party. And so if people vote for me, they will get somebody who always puts constituents before any party, no matter what party. I think I'm going to stay with the Greens. I'm pretty happy there. I agree with 98% of their platform, not 100%. I'm not telling you which 2% I disagree with.
You got to tell at least a little. You got to share something.
You'd have to ask me a specific question and ferret it out.
Oh.
But I will always put my constituents ahead of any party. It's the way I'm wired. So if people want a robot, a puppet, they have three choices. If they want somebody who has stood up for them and proven that he does that. Also, did you know that in the two previous MPs, Liberal and NDP, one was in for 4 years, one was in for 20 years, zero legislation introduced by either of them. Zero. I've introduced 23 bills and motions. You know what some of them are, like the Cell Phone Freedom Act. I unlocked your cell phone and everybody's across Canada. The the climate change bill, the only climate change bill ever passed in the House, and most recently, the National Marine Conservation Area has, well, it's going to bring tens of millions of dollars, hundreds of jobs, and 1 million hectares protected to our region. This is a very big deal. And of course, my Seniors Bill of Rights didn't pass in the last House. I will be reintroducing my Seniors Bill of Rights.
So the message then is there's 6 days left in the campaign. Is Bruce Hyer from the Green Party. He's the deputy leader of the party. He's the member of Parliament for Thunder Bay Superior North, and looking for your support. I'm James in the Net News Ledger News Studio. Thank you.
Thank you, James. It's always nice to see you.